And that's literally like all the beginning of it, excluding like a prologue. But yeah.
Yeah, there's basically it doesn't just straight cut to that first thing. It has like verbal prologue, yeah, like you were saying sort of thing. But yeah, that's because DreamWorks, when they're afraid to show off their big animation, they just throw the first 10 minutes out on YouTube. They've done it since like Megamind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, though, in this case, this is probably like the best showcase. Like, this will literally get anyone to be like, this really actually seems super interesting.
Totally.
Gonna watch it. Like,
Here's to that.
But hello everyone that's listening and tuning in. We just got through a react this first viewing for many of us of the first 10 minutes of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, the Academy Award nominated film.
Woo!
Yep.
All right. But that's nice energy to sort of start off this podcast with, and I might treat everyone with one more scene that's the scene following this, if I can find it for the end of this. Yeah. It'll give context to some images I've been shown earlier, but yeah. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me again, and I guess might as well go into introductions, and then we can go for our quick thoughts on that scene too.
Okay.
But first with introductions, going by random Skype order, Carlos.
Hello there, this is Gunmetal Gator here, telling you all how do you do on this very wonderful night, and I hope you all are living your lives to the fullest.
All right, next up, Jen.
I may be first, I may be last, I may be excited for Puss in Boots, but I am first, and always, Jen. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Jen.
Hello.
All right, and then next up, second day.
Woo! Get a picture. We're here. Together in the react at last.
Finally, yes.
Get on, you kids.
Well, from a crack first to the fan second, no.
Yep, I guess before we move on, what we've been up to, like, what are your thoughts on the first 10 minutes of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish?
It looked really good.
I mean, that was real high energy and just, so well drawn, real creative, like how this character with his little sword and super reflexes just uses that to go larger than life. And I mean, I don't know, I think that's the kind, like, how do you say? That's how you do, like, make highly challenging action scenes fun. Just like, there's a lot of complexity and like he has to dig out every step of it and whatnot, but just, it never for a second loses like the sense of triumph to it. Like it doesn't need like moments to suck or something like, oh yeah, maybe he won't get through it or something, or like, oh well, we're deep, right? We're not going to have it. No, like, there's a time to let triumph just be triumph, and that is awesome. And an ironically excellent note to set up his whole down to his last life thing because that establishes the perfect high point to go to a low point from.
As for me, honestly feel like this was one of the most highly energized opening to a movie I've possibly ever seen, with a song so catchy I have not stopped replaying it from my Spotify account, and it's so dang good. It's a Prideful Man song of like how much the world does not affect him or worries him. And it's just so sung beautifully, musical accompaniment and all. God, it's a song you never grow tired of, and it's just, like I'd say like 10 out of 10 songcraft. Yeah.
But yeah, you've listened to that song a few times, but I've seen this opening like opening, either directly just watching the official thing or seeing some reacts of it with it. It's like, yeah, it doesn't really get old, and it's actually interesting how you like catch a lot of little references that are hidden here that are become much more important later on. And then, there's also one character in the background. If you're very close in the eye for one scene, that's like, oh, they're already foreshadowed there. But yeah, I guess Jen's the last one to for their quick thoughts.
Honestly, like everybody just said what I was thinking. It was just it's definitely designed to make you excited about the rest of Puss in Boots. Like I was excited just by seeing it, and the so high energy and just the motion, the fluidity of the motions, amazing, and just the angles, everything. Also, and as I was saying there, like, very Attack on Titan, very, very much. So I'm thinking, like, whoever animated this watched Attack on Titan a few thousand times, and I ain't mad at you for it. You took kind of the right things from it. But also, like, some of the really funny. There was a lot of comedy in the moments. I thought when Puss gets the the espresso, and all of a sudden he's like afterwards, that was hilarious. And of course, how he loses his lives, so hilarious. So it's hilarious, like how he lost his life. Although I think life number 6 was the dumbest, because it's like, is there shellfish in this? I'm like, why are you eating it? I know you're a cat.
I think it's like,
I know you're a cat.
Yeah, because that's
what.
At first it seems like that was an accidental one, but like it's the he continues to eat that does him in.
He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. It's like, is there shellfish in this? I'm like, what?
And the waiter doesn't say anything to him, and he's just like all bloated.
I thought they said yes, and he's like,
well, like not anything with like, oh my god, you're swollen.
Yeah, like he doesn't.
Like that would have been my first reaction.
I'm wondering, is like, he doesn't feel this, not even any discomfort from this. But I'm thinking, like, why would he? He's a cat and he's eating fish. And I thought that's funny. But of course, the some are pretty, like the spotter thing. I'm like, why? I thought the St. Patrick's Day thing was pretty hilarious too, because I thought it was pretty hilarious. And the spotter, the one with the spotter thing was kind of gruesome, but hey, whatever. The oven one is hilarious, and it was fun seeing the little gingerbread man again.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't
during the Shrek universe it takes place in.
But this is the intro of it, and I highly recommend you watch this film. And depending if I can find a decent clip, I might show the scene that's right after this. Not sure if they have that officially released, but this is a sort of the nice follow-up scene to this. That will be even different sort of tonal shift again. But let me just summarize another before we go into news and what I've been up to. Clip seeing some news about this film that was going about when it was released. Is there's how Antonio Banderas' heart attack informed his performance in Puss in Boots. So in interviews, he's gone to say he's used his real life experience from having a heart attack and anxiety afterwards, that sort of he channeled that into his performance and working with the script. So this film goes places.
What it sounds like.
And also there's a very interesting fun fact that I learned from 107 Facts of Puss in Boots 2. Did you know that Guillermo del Toro was originally supposed to be the director behind this movie before he had to step out?
No, didn't know that.
Oh, yes. There's a reason why both this and Pinocchio were nominated and very contestedly fighting against each other for Best Movie of the Year.
Though honestly, I think that is probably a good thing it didn't, because we sort of got 2 good films out of it, because this one director. Because to be clear, me and Carlos have both seen the film, and so this is a fantastic film, and I've yet to see it, but it's on my to-do. The Pinocchio film from Guillermo del Toro is also highly reviewed, so I think this worked out very well.
Oh,
It's it's a rare example of like I'm glad the director that we sort of wanted for something didn't get it, because I think this generally actually resulted in something better for everyone involved.
And also because
Puss in Boots is pretty hard to beat. It sounds like with how highly people are praising it.
Yeah, the director following up was like, yeah, I'm just gonna full on go on with like the inspiration of Guillermo with this, and ran with it with like it. So that's sort of like the thing we all should need to take note of. Like, if you have like a fantastic filmmaker having to leave a project or something, and then the next filmmaker comes in and it's like, oh, I'm not going to change his work. I'm just going to put my 2 cents into it, but keep it in a similar beat. It's like, yeah, you're respecting like the previous work of people in the past, especially since this movie's been in the works for such a long time.
Right.
Like, I think for 7 years, actually, when it was originally proposed. Yeah, like since the original Puss in Boots came out in 2011, then they were going to announce the movie coming out in 2014, but then it just kept on getting pushed back.
Yeah, that might have been what happened with the first It. Like, new director comes in but keeps the vision of the old one. Like, they had Fukunawa, who he had this huge vision for It. He was he didn't just want to do like any old marketable horror movie. He wanted to really like go into the kids and their dynamic. He was going on about how it's supposed to be like the Goonies almost, that there's supposed to be a ton of charm and likability there, and the studio said, no, we want a horror movie like the kind everybody buys, go away. And they brought in director of Mama or whatever, but being as the losers, the gang, and their group dynamic is what a lot of people praise so much about that movie. And Ganawa still has screenwriting credit. I have to assume he kept a lot of that still.
Right.
And then it was just the director of Mama for It too, so the fact that one was not nearly as popular might say a lot.
All right, but I guess with that said, I guess so you can go. We've been up into. If anyone wants to quickly go like media stuff they've been up to. So anyone want to go first?
I'll go first since there's not a lot's been going on. Let's see. I don't know if I said anything earlier officially on the podcast, but I have a brand new mic and I'm not using it right now, but it's for special projects. So got a new mic and we are gearing up for episode 29 of Elements of Justice. So it'll be out soon, hopefully. They're just working double time to make sure it's all cool, because this is the episode where like a lot of ish goes down. Other than that, I've just been kind of trying to keep I've been looking around like 2023 and be like, okay, nothing's on fire yet. That's about it. Oh no, yeah, coming down off the Super Bowl, and honestly, glad it's over. Now we get a nice break until October.
From all your family being so into football?
Huh?
From your family being so very, very into football?
Pretty much, yeah. Like first, like my boyfriend being into it, and now my mother getting into it, and now my mother getting into it. I'm like, oh, okay. And after all the crap that had gone down with Cincy's mayor getting in on the trash talk with the Kansas City Chiefs and them retaliating and all that stuff, and all that happened yesterday, and I'm just glad. Okay, it's done. It's over. It's done. It's over. Let's just let's chill. Let's chill for the rest of the year until October.
Here. Well, now, I mean, there's going to be a lot of screaming about how the Eagles were robbed, and then therefore the Bengals were robbed, and whining and moaning, and we've been there. It's
already happening, and I'm like, nope. And I'm like, nope. Every time I see something like that, I'm like, nope, swipe left or something, swipe left. I'm just ignoring it. We are ignoring everything else until October. This brain is closed for sports until October.
Heck, I didn't even have much stake in it before that. All the teams I wanted not to win the Super Bowl did not, in fact, make it. So
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I am welcome for the off season for we just looking to take a freaking break.
Yeah.
I have part of me like just wants to scream at the rest of Cincinnati fans with all the trash talk with KC and I'm with Kansas City. I'm like, all right, you were going until October. You were going to sit in the corner and think about what you did.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone wants to go next?
Well, I think the big one has been, we said a lot about that before we even started the menu.
Oh, that's right, the menu.
A lot of us have been seeing that.
Yes.
Woo.
Yes, the menu. What an interesting dish that is.
Yes. A bitter pill for it to swallow for a second, though.
I enjoyed raging against the rich more with glass onion. I thought the foodie hate, we debated this all over the place, and I think I'm sailing a relatively lonely ship here because I've just seen this done to death with the whole the basic person flex that people who have interests and are know especially much about things. They say my Nickelback albums aren't awesome. They say my Steven Seagal movies aren't awesome. They say my McDub aren't awesome. So fuck the rich who cheat on taxes and hoard money so they can throw it at things they know nothing about just to say they can throw it at things they know nothing about. But especially all of those people saying that my basic people things aren't awesome. I don't know, where did this bitterness towards foodies come from? It doesn't actually come up with anything good to nail the guy to the floor for. It makes him a douche for completely unrelated reasons, but nails him for the foodie things instead of the unrelated reasons. It just tries to make him as douchey and pussy wimp a fanboy as he can be, which are not qualities that necessarily are contingent on being a fan. And the coup d'etat line is, "You have taken the mystery out of our art." By being interested in it and finding out things about it. So what you actually wanted was, good, give me a donut now.
Yes, or
Pass me up.
somebody that would really appreciate just a meal.
And I mean, that's what they mean too, because the coup d'etat that ruins the whole thing is power to the cheeseburger. No, you rich imbeciles all have it wrong because you have forgotten to appreciate the best food of all, the cheeseburger.
Yep.
A statement so visionary that nobody has thought to try it since the Pink Panther and Cobra Kai and Mary-Kate and Ashley. And
I thought the actor who played the foodie was just really just ramping up the obnoxiousness and such. And
he nailed what they wanted him to do.
And also, he really touched upon things that are for me real pet peeves. I hate it when someone says oh, it's my secret recipe, or it's my mom's secret recipe, or somebody's secret recipe, and they're like, you can tell me, and they keep on needling them for the secret. I'm like, it's a secret. It's a secret. Be respectful, darn it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just about everybody nailed it. Anna Taylor-Joy nailed it. Ralph Fiennes nailed it.
Yes.
Johnny Legs, he was pretty fun.
And Lord Voldemort himself.
That's Ralph Fiennes.
Right. It's Ralph Fiennes or is it Joseph Fiennes?
Ralph Fiennes.
That's the one. I get those the Fiennes brothers mixed up because they so fine. Sorry about that. Had to get that out of my system. But yeah, that's Ralph Fiennes, right? Okay, Ralph Fiennes. Got it. But yeah, he's so good at a villain. He's so good at a villain, really.
He came out full force in this.
Totally. He's so good. See, I love those kinds of villains that are part of me, like, sometimes I'll go back and forth. Sometimes I like the villains that are insane and crazy, and then there are those that are like just cool, calm, and collected, like Fiennes was. And in a thing like this, it's exactly. It would have been annoying if he were like eccentric and crazy and whatever, and just I don't know, big gestures and whatever. It's good he's so calm and collected and everything. It just sells. It sells the chef persona, really.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if his chameleon abilities are underrated, because we've got this, we've got the theatricality and bombastic lines from Voldemort.
Right.
We've got the sniveling, like dangerous but kind of pathetic red dragon villain. Like he's able to transform himself a little bit. Like they're all villains, but I mean you really don't see Ralph Fiennes in those roles. He disappears into them. Like you remember it's him just because they're so iconic.
Right. And I think that's
Two of them,
I believe that's the goal. That's honestly that's the goal that you want to have. I think I think every actor's goals are different, but honestly, like you really want to get. I think that's the best kind of performance when you can't see that actor. And that's the ultimate thing an actor does. Like it's to make you kind of believe they are that person or that entity for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he's played a lot of villains, there's range in each villain. Each villain is totally different. It's not the same kind of villain over and over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Although then again, there is the other that like just the you is so much bigger than any other hero that like, you are just the best one for that particular performance. Like I don't think, anybody could out Sean Connery as James Bond.
My favorite is like when someone tries to Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the best. It's just the best. It's like,
to be fair though, Christopher Walken,
so
like
much happening right now, and I love it, and I absolutely love it. Other than, it's a tie between someone tries to out Walken, Christopher Walken, or when in the movie Face Off, when John Travolta and Nick Cage on screen, it's like two big.
I guess at the time maybe it was a surprise that John Travolta could, keep up with Nick Cage in the Nick Cage competition. Now I guess we kind of expect that out of him.
That movie is too much fun. It's like two Christmas hams at dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yummy.
Mm.
To be fair to Christopher Walken though, he actually, despite always having some of the same mannerisms, he's got some range himself. You see him in something like The Dead Zone. He's really good.
Oh yeah, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's just Walken. He's you don't understand it, but I'm like, we don't need to.
Yeah.
I just actually watched one of my favorite things. It's not even when Christopher Walken was acting, but do you remember the music video from Fatboy Slim, Weapon of Choice?
You can go with this.
Yes.
You can go with that. You can go with this.
Or
you can go with that.
You can go with this, or you can go with that, or you can go with us.
Yes.
Just I've watched that video of him just dancing just so much, and
You got rhythm.
I don't know what it is. I love it. I just love it so much. Just seeing him just dance around. I know not all of it is him exactly, but still just the idea of him just moving around in the kind of random song that Weapon of Choice is. So it's just fun. It's just one of those things where you just want to turn your brain off and enjoy it, you know?
Yeah. The pure joy.
Absolutely.
Here's one. Yeah, here's one for you. Christopher Walken, did you know he's a Bond villain in one of the movies?
Oh, which one was that?
He was
unfortunately,
the
it's
first
considered possibly the worst one. It's the last one of Roger Moore. Roger Moore was the oldest James Bond, and his last one was when he was 56.
Wow. Moore is the first Bond, correct?
Technically, he's the third. It's kind of you had Sean Connery. Well,
you're right.
You had some made-for-TV guy playing a character that technically was James Bond, and then you had Sean Connery, and then like they squeezed George Lazenby into a Sean Connery sandwich. Like Lazenby came kind of took what was supposed to be Sean Connery's final movie, because Sean Connery just decided he couldn't take this series anymore. And then after George Lazenby's agent said, no, George, you know what you really want is to not be typecast as James Bond and try to be a legitimate actor. And yeah, thanks, agent. Guess how well that worked out. But yeah, meanwhile, after George Lazenby said that, they said, okay, Sean Connery, we see your point, but what if more money?
Oh my gosh.
So Sean came back for one more. But yeah, but then after those two came Roger Moore.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting like the order of how the bonds go. I know Connery was one of them. I can't remember which Bond he was. Moore was the third Bond. Connery was the second, wasn't he?
The first. Well, he's the first Bond as we think of James Bond. There was some kind of like in a television series, they managed to buy the rights to the first book and make a little hour-long television special to go with their many television specials that was technically that story and technically had a guy playing James Bond in a very, adequate, not completely terrible performance.
Yeah. Then I just remember the first time I got into Bond was Pierce Brosnan. And to me, he is one of the quintessential Bonds to me, because I think he left such an impression. He left such an impression on me as Bond. And then, of course, you have Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig came after him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and
it's sort of weird with Pierce Brosnan with him though, because it seems like half of his career is like everyone loves the first half, but like everyone's like a lot of people complain about the second half.
Right.
His career is Bond run.
His Bond films.
Well, weirdly, it seemed like he burst onto the scene with what's considered one of the best Bond films, and then he had 3 middle-of-the-road ones that people love to fight about.
Right.
Like the Michelle Yeoh one probably comes the closest to getting respect, but then now you have people saying, oh no, it didn't actually age that well, and then you have the third one after that with people saying that that's just another one that only has action scenes going for it, and this time doesn't even have Michelle Yeoh, but other people are saying, no, this is the one with the good action scenes, it's underrated. And then you have Die Another Day, which, simple question, do you like Madonna as a Bond girl and parasurfing to escape from space lasers and, sword fights of pure rage ranging all over a university of people wondering what the hell is going on?
I will argue for that sword scene, because that sword scene is really well done. I
honestly kind of love that sword scene. But yeah, that was my first James Bond movie, and that and a couple of other things are really all I can remember about it.
But before we move on to, I think Carlos still needs to go with who's up to. Yeah. I will say with Pierce Brosnan, sorry I'm mispronouncing his name, my tongue's tied. I will say one of his more recent performances that needs note is like him as Dr. Fate is freaking fantastic in Black Adam.
Nice.
He stole he stole the performance from best performance from The Rock in a Rock movie.
Okay, now I gotta see
Too
Black
bad
Adam.
It was in a bomb.
I did not think that's possible.
Yeah.
I thought that was a offense.
Nobody does it better.
Ooh, someone took the spotlight, huh?
I would say the movie it's more like it's a Rock movie more than a DC movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you go in because it's the biggest flaw is like it sort of tries to make you think that the Rock is sort of a terrifying, like it's like I am dangerous, but it's the Rock. The
Rock has impenetrated Disney and now DC.
Yeah, it's like the Rock is like I love the Rock, but like he just can't really do intimidating because like everyone knows his personality. It's like
he can't do cold-blooded intimidating. You can't think that it's hard to think that the Rock wants to walk you down and coldly watch you die with no expression behind his eyes. Like, The Rock, he wants to be the WWE character is his element. He wants to be, awesomely kick-ass, fun kick-ass.
Now, what about The Rock, if you don't think The Rock could be intimidating, another wrestler that's on the radar and acting, Dave Bautista. Now, what do you think about like his, thing? Can he do you think he can do, I think he can do intimidating stuff.
Actually, you know what? Right back to the subject at hand. It's going to keep coming back to this. Guess what kick Daylover and I have been on lately? Mm-hmm. Did you see him as a Bond villain?
Mm-hmm. When was Bautista a Bond villain?
The second to last Daniel Craig. He was the Bond. He was the henchman Inspector, and not Inspector in the movie Spectre. And I mean, that movie gets a pretty polarized response because they took Blofeld in an odd direction. But he is a near all-time great Bond villain. Like, the first scene where you see Spectre, where like a shadowed room to keep them all in secret, and somebody's place is being challenged for at the Bond table. Yeah. And Batista's the challenger, and he calmly walks out and slams the guy's head against the table and twists his head off. And politely takes his seat. It's like Dave Bautista will make you believe that he's gonna mess your shit up.
But I think second, I think you summarized it better though. I think The Rock. It's not that can't be intimidating. It's just like he's just too like he can't be like cold blooded. Like.
Mm-hmm. I disagree. I think give Bautista the right material. I think he can. Well,
DC said The Rock. Batista, I'm saying like Inspector, that he owned that. Okay. Like, Dave Bautista will make you believe that he wants to fuck your shit up.
Okay, gotcha. And also Batista's like kind of going out of I don't know, he's going out of like, he's like in the family friendly thing, but yet he's not. I don't think so.
Well, he is, but he kind of wants not to be. It sounds like Dave wants to be a respected actor now that he's nailed bankable. He wants
article. I read it like an article or something that I don't even know if you've read. He was saying like, how come I can't get in rom-coms? And I'm thinking like, please tell me you're serious. And I was like, please tell me you are serious, because if there's any reason to like. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, how fun would that be, just to become some sort of like writer and director, just so you can make a rom-com to put Dave Bautista in.
Dave Bautista would be perfect for executing the twist I am praying for someday, purely for novelty value. That you have the stud who the characters are quote unquote supposed to think you should get with, and then you have the underdog, the smaller, sweeter guy who she's supposed to end up with. And I want the twist to be that no, they picked the stud this time for no other reason than because it's a better relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're a better match. Like, how refreshing would that be to happen once the love triangle happens, and then after all the shenanigans and the ups and the downs and the pros and cons of both, the quote unquote big strong stud guy just so happens to be the better match.
Right.
I mean, we really need to move on to things like that. Actually, was sort of not the stud, but like the female version of that was sort of actually played out in the first Mask film where.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
All right. I was gonna like add for like other stuff going on is very recently a new cartoon has made its debut this past weekend. If you looked over at the Disney Channel.
Which one is that?
It's a cartoon that's actually oddly enough near and dear to my heart, considering I actually read the source material of it 10 years ago. So I could literally say I've been there at the beginning for it to be fully adapted into a cartoon series, and that is Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Oh yeah, saw a little bit of something about that.
Yes, they just had like their 45-minute premiere and then also their second episode premiere at the very same weekend, and they're gonna be airing 2 episodes like every single week apparently right now.
Nice.
And from what I saw from like the first 2 episodes, well, from the big 45-minute premiere is, guys, we have a TV version of Spider-Verse. We have a TV version of Spider-Verse. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. This is not a drill at all. We literally have Lower East Side Manhattan, and combine that with like Lunella Lafayette, who is our main character. Like, Jesus. Like, okay. In the original comics, she's literally an elementary school student. But and here they aged up to be 13 just because, standard Disney practices of always have a teenager as the main character and such.
Right.
Anyway. But like her, she's basically, and it's still canon, by the way, the smartest human in the Marvel universe.
Wow, even smarter than Tony Stark?
Oh, they make good points to say so in the comics. Just trust me on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like the thing with her is like in the original comics she was a bit more of like a social outcast, and here she sort of acts like a bit like Miles, like in the comfortableness of like her neighborhood. Yeah. And then this time we actually stay in that neighborhood, so it's kind of like a different version of Spider-Verse in which we get to keep up with like the hip hop neighborhood that like our main character drives and lives in, Oh,
nice. I bet the soundtrack is sweet.
Oh, the main theme song is literally a remix of a 70s song called Moon Girl Magic.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, yes. It is quite delectable indeed. So basically she is trying to like help her family like not lose business from like possible deaths because there's been blackouts going on in the Lower East Side.
Right.
And no one knows the reason why, but it's been causing like a rash of deaths and then also leading to a lot of businesses closing down, which is kind of a painful reality considering what happened 3 years ago, basically.
Right.
Yes, which that led to a lot of places closing down. So, yeah, it really hits hard at home. And like her way of solving it is like she has like her own underground lab, like hidden underneath like an abandoned subway tunnel underneath her house, and she's trying to fickle with like a machine that she believes to be a generator, just so that she'd be able to like give power to like the Lower East Side so they won't lose power again.
Oh, what a great idea!
Oh yeah, except for the fact it turns out to be an actual time portal generator.
You try to help out your city with blackouts, and then you end up creating a time portal.
Which comes in the second main character, Devil Dinosaur.
Oh, that's right.
And then here, literally one of the most smartest pets you can ever have. Like, they make all the references to any sort of animal companion you could think of when it comes to Devil. Like, they make reference to Clifford the Big Red Dog. They make reference to like other stuff like I think maybe there was a lot of reference, but I don't know. But it's still like a quite a bit of interesting references they had for like different pet characters for Devil, and like how he understands human speech, but like still acts like at least a courteous enough like dinosaur that he doesn't go wreck up stuff like you would usually imagine.
Right.
And then that leads to like them discovering like upon like them like trying to like control each other and such, like the actual villain, which turns out to be like an Electro style villain by the name of Aftershock.
Oh.
Who is a female villain, by the way. So get your Livewire comments ready. The internet's already written a million of them.
Oh, brother.
Yes.
This sounds like fun to actually watch.
Oh yeah, and also like for her home life. She literally lives with like her parents and her grandparents, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, and they own like a '70s roller rink.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, like, and the thing with like Lunella is like she basically makes friends with like the first person she ever saves, who then becomes her how should I say this? Do you know like a sort of like a social media consultant slash costume designer?
Yeah.
Yeah, like who like in actual like I think like when I was like researching like the show, apparently she's also Puerto Rican Jewish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her name's Casey, by the way. And I'm
Right.
just like, hold up, hold up. So you mean to tell me Disney is finishing a show with a Dominican protagonist and then coming in with a show with like a side character who's partly Puerto Rican? God dang it, I'm being fully represented, Disney. Where have you been? Where have you been on my cultures? This is it.
Hey, they were
This is
working. They were working on it. They were working on it, and they're delivering so far.
Yep. Like it just feels great. Like just seeing like all this sort of interesting stuff of like, oh yeah, social media and how it affects like the main character as like it becomes like, you know, a modern thing, you know, like
Right.
publicizing yourself. Like you gotta make sure you got your name brand out there just so that like villains can fear you and such. Like it makes a really nice thing. Like then like it continues on with like them like finding out like how to like make the superhero identity like an actual thing. And for Lunella as Moon Girl, her superhero getup is literally like her like in a neon inspired like a roller derby outfit with
Nice.
like goggles that emotes her feelings.
Oh wow, that sounds like fun cosplay opportunity already.
Oh yes. With simple colors like blue, with like yellow with like a blue stripes all over.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's gonna be something quite easy to make.
Oh, that will be fun.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
one last question, Gator.
Mhm.
Is there going to be a roller skating dinosaur?
Of course there is.
That's my only
Don't,
request. I want a roller
uh,
skate. That's my only request. I want at some point, I don't care where in the season or seasons, I want a roller skating dinosaur.
mm,
I'll draw you one.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, right now, like I have not heard anything about roller skating dinosaurs. Like, yeah, unfortunately, but maybe they might have it in the show. Like, and here's the best thing
That's
about Moon
it.
Girl and
That's
Devil
my only
Dinosaur.
request. That's my
It's
only request. I want a roller
Mhm.
skating dinosaur because why the freak not?
I gotcha. Totally cool, totally cool. It's like the thing that's like super prominent and super hopeful about the show
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that after it having like a few episodes being episodic, they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be an actual continuous storyline with this series.
Ooh.
So this is going to be the full-on replacement for like Owl House
Ow.
once that's over. So we finally still have a storyline cartoon again. After we thought we were
Yay!
going to lose it with Disney Channel, you know?
How much does Owl House have left?
Only one more episode, and
Holy
then
crap!
that's it.
I don't know that going that through the season. Been trying to
Yeah.
find some ways to watch it, not on Disney's
Yeah.
app, but yeah, my previous source is not there anymore, so it's like shoot.
I got it. Yeah, and then like already like in the second episode, they already brought in a lot of Marvel canon
Mm-hmm.
by having a symbiote be the antagonist. So
Wow.
yes, and it's just like the previews already showcased like a hint at like a Marvel the MCU canon by
Mm-hmm.
already having like I think it was like Maria Hill
Mm-hmm.
being showcased like in one of the trailers, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're definitely having a continuous storyline if you're bringing Shield here. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I was going to touch about on the news, but yeah, there's any current Disney show besides Mandalorian, or I would be a little cautious about because yeah, Disney's sort of trying to thin out their cost right now. So, and animation has definitely been on one of the chopping blocks for all the streaming places.
I've also kind of noticed like one of the shows that they were really pushing for like the Disney Channel superhero hour has sort of gotten like less coverage. It was supposed to be like a Mexican luchador inspired superhero show,
Okay.
live action,
Hmm.
called like I think it's like Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion.
Okay.
Yeah, that show after showing like I think around 8 or 9 episodes has not aired another episode afterwards.
Like when you
So
heard about like luchador, I was thinking mucha lucha.
yeah, yeah, I totally get you on that for
Remind
sure.
me, was that show ever any good?
Oh, mucha lucha.
Funny.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I just
Ricochet,
remember
Bonita
trying to get
Girl, and the
into it and
Flea.
like the wrestling moves never being consistent and the like winning matches always almost having nothing to do with anything unless they decided to have an episode where it did, in which case a Deus Ex Machina was always the answer. And I'm like, yeah, however many years it is later, I'm like, was I watching it wrong?
Yeah.
I,
It's
I
funny.
think I think
The
it's
one thing that was
supposed to be
funny
like
about it was
really fun. The Flea with the power, stinkiness
oh, the
as their
flea was funny.
superpower.
And also the motto of like, what was it? Life, what was it? Love, liberty, and donuts? Or was it life, liberty, and donuts?
Life, liberty, and donuts.
Life, liberty, and donuts. And then there's
Yeah.
lucha libre thing.
hmm Yeah, I really do remember those times in Kids WP when that show was on.
Oh,
So
lucha
good.
lucha had some funny moments.
Oh yeah, and also the movie was a great send off for everyone.
Yes.
hmm
But
But hmm
I was gonna say, I was gonna just say, have you get back to your final thing you were gonna bring up, or
for me, yeah, I guess like oh yeah, and also like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur seems to have a bit of like a musical battle at the end of each episode. So, and they already uploaded their entire soundtrack, which looks like to be 24 songs long. So yeah, I think we're gonna get a lot of music videos from this show, and they're just gonna be super good and super tight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I just oh yeah, and like and also like about oh yeah, for the Disney Channel shows. Yeah, like I think like ever since Disney was like, oh, let's just make a whole lot of superhero cartoons or live action shows and just have them like all over. I think it's really like a bad idea because like it kind of overstuffs everyone with a lot of stuff. Like I mean, Hansel and Gretel, Devil Dinosaur, Moon Girl, and then the other live action shows, including the Villains of Valley View. It's just going to be too much saturation for one channel to handle it. Like they're going to have to cut out some stuff, you know?
I think the goal
like
is like to have somebody like is to have your viewers like just glued to the TV, pretty much.
well, like I said, like that would be cautious right now because right now all the streaming services are sort of like thinning content. Like Netflix basically have their animation shows, and then yeah, Disney like might as well just cover this news now. Is like yeah, Disney's sort of had a whole bunch of small like issues they're dealing with, like good and bad. Like they sort of they're losing Rudy Creek, so they're losing their special district, but also not. It's just sort of being renamed, but they're losing control. In that governor battle, and then but they're also sort of doing good. There's good Disney news, like they are basically confirmed that there's going to be a Toy Story 5, and they are bringing back Tim Allen. So
Hmm.
Zod,
Uh,
actually caving to like basically everyone's pressure except for whoever greenlit Buzz Lightyear the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry. Was
and
Tim Allen ever like I, I, like I don't know where to start with this one. Okay, like first of all, I'm sorry. The reason they recast him in Buzz Lightyear is because they wanted to make like 5 more Buzz Lightyears, and they wanted someone who was going to be around for that. Like the persecution complex of the religious right. It's like they're so close to having one that they can put some leg to stand on in Tim Allen, but yeah, the fact that Disney is happily throwing projects at him just keeps making it not happen, not become reality.
Right.
Like I said, they did ditch him for a while, but like that they seem to be trying to toss him bones now, and mostly because Disney's doing a lot of things. Yeah, like yeah, we're still sort of uncovering the downfalls of Chepek, or as he was basically known, Chepik. Yeah, like going back to Disney Channel or streaming and all that. Like one of the things that basically sort of the final nail that sort of got him rather forcefully thrown out of the Disney CEO position is they found out that he was sort of like changing the budgets to sort of like more or less put more funds than he was supposed to into Disney Plus by more or less undercutting other departments by that's sort of like part of the reason they believe that like Strange World was just sort of like basically thrown under the bus so much as it was basically always intended to be a Disney Plus show like movie, but he didn't want to give that. They had to make it actually put in theaters technically, just put it under the theatrical budget.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff that like, yeah, he got thrown out, and we're still. But yeah, going back here, there's a lot
the
of
idea that like Tim Allen has worked because of that. I mean, he was in Toy Story 4. He was a pretty prominent part. Otherwise, he really hasn't tried to work in outside of Disney. I mean, he hasn't really tried to work in movies and kind of seems like he's stuck to his TV show. What was it called? Last Man Standing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Disney, like, the fact that they had their successes with him run their course and started throwing him into the Shaggy Dog and what was it? No,
the Santa Claus
Christmas movies. Santa Claus 3, but I mean they he tried to branch out into other movies, but I mean Disney was very much throwing third-rate projects at him in the aughts. The Wild Hogs I don't think was Disney, but Zoom might have been. Okay, whatever it was. Yeah, that to not much to then nostalgia projects. Like there's really not a stretch of the resume where it goes from like something to nothing, like some studio head was blackballing him.
I mean, that was, you said the odds. It was more recent year that they said it was blocked, but
yeah. Well, I mean that's the like the aughts was the downward spiral of other than the Toy Story nostalgia projects, just the let's see, have we used this guy up yet? How about the Shaggy Dog? All right, we put him in that. Maybe we have now. Yeah, and then after that was the nothing, which, as careers go in the 2010s, before Ralph Macchio could suddenly have a career again on a nostalgia TV show at a moment's notice. Yeah, before that was about the norm.
And
Frasier.
Any other final thing? Yeah, like any other final things you've been up to, Carlos, before we move on to the actual news?
I mean, like I won second place in a Vanguard Zero tournament this weekend, so I got a little bit of money from that. So there's that.
Hey, congratulations!
And speaking of which, Day and I are coming back to Columbus for another stab at the Arnold Classic Martial Arts Tournament.
Yay!
So if we get to hang out with either of you guys in Ohio again, if you're up for that in a few weeks, that would be awesome.
Technically, it's mostly going to be second time. Huh?
Yeah. When is it?
The weekend of March 3rd.
Okay. All right. That's possibly, March 10th I have plans. Like, I don't think I have anything March. Early March,
March 4th is the day. I'm pretty sure March 4th is the day, and then 3rd we'd just be driving into town and spending the night.
Yeah, because like March 10th, I'll be like, if no COVID or anything goes wrong, like knocking on wood, I'll be like in I'll be in like Charlotte. So, yeah. I was like, please don't tell me that's going to be another day I was gone. It's like, oh yes, it actually works out. All right. But that's something to look forward to. Actually, more coming up. Try to organize something. But
here.
I
just need to whip myself back into shape with more interval sprints. It's my on short notice schedule to try to get some cardio.
All right.
Is it the news? What's in the news?
Yep. And just, before that, I'll just go up what I've been up to. Not much. I can't believe I've covered it before. If I've covered it before, but yeah, game wise, I went back to Gravity Rush 2, which I will say, yeah, there's a big step up from Gravity Rush Remastered to Gravity Rush 2. Which, for reference, Gravity Rush was originally a Vita game, basically the most famous, I think, Vita game. And yeah, going to actual Gravity Rush 2, which is a PS4 game. And it's not just graphically, but just so much of it just plays better. Like, I think I mentioned before, Gravity Rush 1 sort of felt like a PS2 game, like a classic one. This is like, oh no, this feels like a much more modern game. Like, and sort of like animations and like this quality of life improvements, like, wow. Like, there's actually a button that turns off the anti-gravity power so you can right yourself without trying to slam yourself into the floor. Yeah. There's a lot more quality of life improvements. I still haven't beat it yet, but yeah, work on that. And then anime wise, I finished up Spy X Family, like the second half of the season 1. Speaking of like James Bond stuff, they wear that influence on their sleeves. It was like sort of it's a weird mix of an action and sort of like slice of life and just sort of like heartfelt show. And then right now the series I'm binging through is just because I have it up here just so I get the name right, is I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss.
Oh God, yes, that one.
Which
yes.
It surprisingly is very different from like so I'm a villainess now. Every path leads to doom. Other show which came out, which is like, they're very similar concept, where like basically a person who gets reincarnated as their villain of their favorite otome game, which is basically dating game. And yeah, this one, even though it's like extremely similar concept, like they're very tonally different. Like the Red Flags one, which is the older one, I would say is a more standard show in terms of like it's like you can see the influence, like it's inspired by like otome games. It's basically the dating simulator games, but like more of the ones aimed for female fans. But it's like it's still more of a standard like narrative flow. Why I'm a villainess, so I'm taming the final boss is more. It's very much more like, okay, we're taking like, here's this arc. This is this next arc's going to be like the second game. Okay, this next arc's going to be like that spin-off game from that. Like it's much more of a drama and like wears its influence on its sleeves.
Right.
The first series is more of an action comedy series. Sort of reverse harem, like it's much more like structured like a more standard like fantasy reverse harem thing. And this one's more like much more of a drama sort of thing, like romance drama. It's interesting how such very similar shows have sort of like elements differ. But that's what I've been up to. Jumping in quickly through the news because we're short in time. Okay. I already did some of the Disney stuff, which is a whole bunch of collection of stuff. Basically summarized as Disney's doing stuff, good and bad. Some of the good is just trying to please stockbrokers after someone is basically trying to overthrow some of the board. But yeah, they're cutting some fat, like they've laid off 7,000 people. And they're just rearranging stuff. So it's like still too soon to see if it's good, bad, but they are doing some fan service, like good stuff. Like I think I brought up the parking situation. We're like, oh yeah, if you pay $900 for a hotel, you don't have to actually pay for parking anymore, which is really stupid to begin with.
Oh my, how much? $900?
Yeah. I'm not even exaggerating because if like the luxury hotels at Disney are like that much a night.
My
so Yeah. Yeah, Disney's like doing some changes now, too soon to say. It's good. That's good, bad. Basically, they're trying to survive right now. And then in other news, Hogwarts Legacy came out, which is being widely successful, as pretty much everyone could have predicted.
Yawn.
Yeah.
I think the only surprise, it is actually doing critically pretty well, though. Warner Brothers Interactive strategically, if news outlet was basically saying like, oh yeah, we're going to not cover this because trans rights, they basically did not send them a review code. So the Metacritic will probably go down, but overall, like, yeah, it's still probably, it's in the upper 80s of Metacritic. So critically well received and actually financially doing extremely well.
I think even trans objectors knew it was going to do that. Like, the thing that gets me going with there is like people like, transphobes or whatever, acting like they weren't going to be transphobes until you impeded on them, or like, guess what? I bought it. It's like, okay, so you're a douche. Your point.
Yeah.
But
the point is
critically
transphobe, and your point. And what do you want? A cookie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, it's critically successful, financially successful. But I think the most new trend, which has happened over the past few days, I'm aware of, is basically people who are upset about being successful are going around and intentionally trying to spoil as many people as possible on Twitter. So like weaponized spoilers.
Weaponized spoilers for what?
The people like, going on about how, oh, you bullies, you have no business telling us that there is anything wrong with adding to the net profit of Hogwarts Legacy. Like, they started retaliating with, okay, well, spoilers without the spoiler warning.
There's a lot of like
there's a problem with that. Like, if they're trying to spoil it for everybody, I'm like, that means you bought the game. That means you bought the game, you played it, and now you're spoiling it. Your money still went towards the property that you're trying to ruin, you know?
I mean,
unless the summary is available on, like, a Wikipedia summary or something is available, is it?
Yeah, I mean, it probably is at this point. And
how would that be possible? How would a summary be? Well, you got a summary. They're not like showing like the whole, like they'll tell you at the end of the game. Are they doing that? Or are they just telling you like, or are they just doing this?
Well,
So
the
I know
game
Wikipedia has like a plot section for its. I'm looking at it now. It's 2 paragraphs. So looks like it's a description. So if it is, if they got spoilers from a summary, I guess it wasn't from there. But I don't even know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's the most recent trend I've seen. So, internet be internet. But and the final news is sort of about entertainment, but sort of like the big thing that everyone's been talking about is the balloon wars have begun. So that's been going on.
Oh, the spy balloons are being shut down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think funny, like if you see me laughing earlier because I randomly stumbled across something on like on Facebook post, which basically had a sign, like a ad sign put up. It was like, due to recent actions, the hot ballooning is going to be canceled for the immediate future.
It sucks if you own a hot air balloon. Oh, jeez.
But trying to quickly go into our topic because I need to be getting ready for work tomorrow. But let's sort of go into a quick topic, which is as of recording, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, which sort of got me thinking of the sort of idea of like, I don't mean this in an insulting way, but to say sort of the fake holidays, as in like the sort of corporate supported, but like not religious or national holidays, but
the holidays that are like, hey, let's celebrate.
Yeah. because Valentine's Day is probably the second biggest. It really depends on like how official you count Halloween, because even though it's technically a fake holiday, it
has roots in something. Well, I mean, there's a Saint Valentine, so yeah, Halloween probably deserves it too. Like, I mean, it just happens to be the best one ever because it comes up with at least 3 things that we all heck yeah love.
Well,
yeah, even though like I mean in general though it's like it's sort of just so massively big that like I am not surprised within like the next 5 or so years that like Halloween starts becoming a day that's off at schools.
Halloween is Halloween was based on a pagan holiday. So
yeah, I mean Valentine's Day there was a Saint Valentine, so of course I mean they're all based in something, but yeah, I mean I don't know, Valentine's Day like so okay, actually this is probably opening up a hairy debate. Like, Christmas, Easter, all that officially their specific religious events, but you could, go on till Kingdom Come about how that, we're not really doing that, or are we? When we said like, there's debates all over the place, but okay, Valentine's Day is probably one that's more just like face value for what we're quote unquote officially celebrating.
Yeah, but to go over some of the more bigger ones, because there's technically like a day for like, oh, here's Donut Day, or there's dozens of those. But I mean the more officially unofficial ones, like I'm gonna go over some of the bigger ones.
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, which that's sort of, I would say, is semi, because that's sort of like treated as an unofficial, official like Irish Heritage Day sort of thing. So that one's gray, but and the same, still sort of in the fake holiday thing. But like some of the other ones, like I said, I mentioned Halloween, Valentine's Day, Mother's and Father's Day. Then there's also the Sweeties Day.
That's a fake. It seems like a fake day. I don't understand why it exists.
Opposite Day, which doesn't even have an official date.
There's apparently a sandwich day somewhere.
Well,
unfortunately, there's April 1st.
Yeah, I used to blog alongside someone who had that as one of her blogs. Holidays that actually exist. I mean, you could find things that some state, some organization, some council somewhere has put through. I'm pretty sure by now there's one for every day of the year. Pencil Day, Donut Day, Talk Like a Pirate Day. I'm probably about a mile away from the most ridiculous ones that still happen. Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, Walk Backwards Day. I mean, I'm making stuff up because they sound like the ones that she would list, but I wouldn't even be a fraction surprised if they all really do exist, the ones that I'm making up now.
That's why, like I say, because there's dozens of like of those like official, like, oh, here's blank day. It's that's why I wanted to sort of avoid the focus on those, because like that's like literally we could make a whole like video just discussing like all the various, like here's like a calendar of all the fake day, like here's all the fake, here's cupcake day, here's pie day, here's pie the number day, which actually I know both of those have official days. But like, so I want to focus less on those, but sort of the more bigger ones, which are the stuff like I want to sort of bring up is like they are sort of the various degrees are artificial and like sort of corporate. Like Valentine's, I think, is the most infamous, I would say, for this, is sort of being like as like, oh, here's a day to sell stuff. That's what you sort of made up. But at the same time, I feel like it needs to be said with these days, like, they are sort of fake artificial holidays, but at the same time, is it bad to have too many sort of days, like holidays? especially since a lot of these air quote fake holidays are fill up gaps in the calendar of celebration. Like Valentine's sort of exists because there's not really anything between Christmas and Easter. Like that's sort of like, yeah, I think that's gosh, if you were seen Arthur as a kid, they even bring this up. I'd like trying to find out a holiday, and then it's like, oh yeah, here's Valentine's Day, which the sort of joke is that Valentine's Day is sort of that filler holiday between.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Let's face it, though, the money, the ability to sell it is, well, to answer your question about how it's a bad thing, I mean, I think, if you have people you like being together doing nice things with, I mean, yeah, excuses never hurt anybody to do that. If you don't like it, don't celebrate. But yeah, as far as the, the money and the salesmanship being a part of it, I like having worked in some retail, I think we might not even fully realize now how much that, determines whether these are celebrations of any meaningful size. Like, notice how Christmas and Halloween, the two salesmanship giants, have just about ballooned right over Thanksgiving, which after trying a movie here and a song there and marshmallow peep turkeys in some corner of the world, I think that corporations have pretty well and truly given up on marketing that, and hence why it is now well and truly clearly the smallest of the three. And furthermore, I wouldn't be surprised if Valentine's Day in a few years is also bigger than it.
Yeah, but besides like that actually reminds me of another, like bringing up the corporate stuff. There is actually another benefit of that is we get some of the holiday, like basically gives us year-round holiday treats, which and specifically this means we never have to get actual regular Reese cups. We can get the specialty holiday ones, the Easter eggs, the hearts, the trees, which if any of us who eat those, can we all agree those are better?
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually do remember them being pretty good now that you mention it.
It's all about the peanut butter to chocolate ratio, and
oh yeah,
Now that's where I got I would say it varies. Like peanut butter chocolate, or peanut butter caramel, or better yet peanut butter, or better yet chocolate and opera cream.
the Cadbury eggs.
A raspberry, why not? And chocolate raspberries, and chocolate and strawberries, don't forget that.
Chocolate and strawberry. Yeah. I actually think my favorite though, I think chocolate and caramel is underrated goat. And like most people would say peanut butter and chocolate or something like that, but I don't know. I think caramel is our dynamite waiting to go off.
They're just as good as chocolate and peanut butter, honestly. He's like, you can't. Nobody could like make me like, what's better? You have to choose one. Like, I know, I won't. I refuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like variety in my. Yeah, I like variety in my chocolates, but like one of my favorites still is just the simple, good old fashioned Twix, which is just cookie, caramel, and chocolate. Like,
thank you.
That's so good. That's so good. But I would always go for the Butterfinger, if only just because of like super budget. It's a hard candy. It's so ripe. It's a lot of hard nuts.
Speaking of like that reminds me like the things I like better that are the specialty stuff like the holiday is Butterfingers that they're actually mixes with the chocolate. I love that stuff because like Butterfinger but it doesn't stick to your teeth.
So like which one? Not like a Clark bar?
No, it's like Butterfinger candy, but like it's like a chocolate bar that's like Butterfinger mix, but it's like not like a solid chunk of the Butterfinger filling, but it's like the filling is mixed with the chocolate. So it's sort of like a crunch bar, but like a Butterfinger crunch bar.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty much good either way. Butterfinger, I think, is one of the best candies. Good stuff.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, is it Three Musketeers in a pinch?
Hmm. Yeah, Day loves her Three Musketeers.
And
I'm lukewarm on them, but I like a Kit Kat bar in a pinch.
Oh, I don't like. I mean, I appreciate regular Kit Kats, but where it's at is the flavored Kit Kats, like the holiday flavors and like different ones. Like you can find them at like imported stores. Like green tea Kit Kats are fire.
I'm sorry, green tea and I have an irreparably broken relationship. But I like a good white chocolate Kit Kat, for example.
Yeah, also white chocolate Reese's is pretty good too.
Yeah, surprisingly, because you wouldn't think making peanut butter's tag team partner more sweet would work too well, but lo and behold,
white chocolate
cream. I think it's the creaminess of the white chocolate that really works well with that.
Yeah, white chocolate, I mean, everybody hated it as just like chocolate on its own, and deservedly so. It gets old real fast, but I think it's found its calling as a piece of the equation. You need to pair it with stuff to be dynamite.
Oh, agreed.
But I guess going back to topic at hand, so I guess what are your thoughts on like all of these days? Like, do you think they are fun, just shouldn't be taken too seriously, sort of thing?
So, opinion on what?
The fake holidays, which I use air quotes just to cover the whole range of them.
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like the Family Guy joke or something about supply and demand. It's like we kind of are the monster. It wouldn't be there if the demand wasn't there. It's like turn the blame around on yourself. You honestly don't enjoy it. Yeah, go fiddle with something else. Yeah, get into buying something else till that takes off. 'Tis the capitalist world we live in.
True that.
But honestly, though, like, I mean, I guess there is a world where like this stuff is, I don't know, what does the fox say in holiday form, or just like the thing that is like nails on a chalkboard to me being shoved down my throat and can't stand it and all of the above, and hopefully if that day ever does get here, it's not just that I think it's here because I'm a grumpy old man. But yeah, long story short, I don't think we've gotten here yet. I don't think we've gotten like the Simpsons. Well, Valentine's Day is over and we need to sell things. How about we create Love Day? Just name it something less tacky, like Love Day.
Lame.
Love Day.
You don't like no kids.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, just like trying to make, really, yeah, just trying to make Valentine's Day like more Valentine's Day and the like. That hasn't really bothered me. Like, okay, yeah, watch some rom-coms, eat some chocolate, send some cards. Yeah, I got nothing against that. I love showering my wife with stuff fine. So I mean, yeah, just making the holidays more what they already are. Like, it has not crossed a line to me yet. And I guess now that you mention it, there probably is a timeline where such a thing exists that I can't stand. But yeah, haven't hit it for me at least.
Well, like I said, like as long as you don't take them, I would say too, like because some people do take say Valentine's Day too seriously. But like as an idea, I feel like you could say they're silly or not, but like I feel they are overall good for like holidays are good for like the spirit, and I think some like a lot of these like fake holidays are keep up throughout the year, and I think February especially needs it because like I say, February is just sort of like for a lot of the country just a nasty time of the year. Like it's like cold, wet, or frozen.
Yeah, need a little lift in the spirit for that.
Yes. But this is one thing that I love that I see that some people are doing with Valentine's Day, and they're making it more. I'm really getting to those that really make it more about loving themselves. Just take that. There are those who are like, make it Single Awareness Day, and then there are those who are like, yes, shower your loved one with love and everything. But like, you should do that every day, but whatever. Then there are those who are like, just love yourself.
Yeah.
Like take that
Follow
day.
the right messages, and
day,
Valentine's Day can be pretty positive.
It's a way to. It's really, you can spin it however you want, or if you don't want to, just treat it like another day. It's really up to that person whether you buy into it or not.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So I will admit, it is fun. It is fun to see like the overload of chocolate and the pretty flowers. Like I just came across some like bouquets. I was in the grocery store and I came across some bouquets. Like, oh, that's so pretty. I was like, $60. Like,
Mm-hmm.
We're turning around and going the other way.
Yoey. Well, you know where to shop. You can find these things for not too much money.
That's true. That's true. And you know,
I also just go for like this sort of unconventional, like even like different flowers. Like I know carnations or a lot of wildflower sort of things that aren't just like the roses. You can usually get cheaper, and especially if your partner really likes those flowers to begin with, it just sort of even works out better.
Problem is roses die so quick.
Very often.
Actually,
get them at Trader Joe's. They last longer.
Huh. I didn't know that. I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
Actually, I like with Christmas trees, one thing I like is the trend in like the plantable flowers you can gift.
Mm-hmm.
And Christmas trees?
Like how that's one thing with Christmas trees. They have like ones that are live trees, like they're sort of meant to be planted afterwards.
Oh, the live trees. Oh, I didn't know that live trees did that.
Like I said, that's a newer trend. Instead of just cutting them down, they come with a little dirt thing around them, and you can just take them out back of the yard and plant them after your Christmas season.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
And there it is.
Yep. Valentine's Day, eat chocolate day. Eat chocolate day or treat yourself day.
All right. So have we capped off this run?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I think so. And I think I'll end this thing and then I'll do a mini react for like one more scene from Puss in Boots.
Okay.
Gotcha.
One more react scene to Puss in Boots.
Cool.
But the main thing is ending this time, so see y'all next time.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Johnny.